kids. Different name is so important. So what they do, they will spend all their money, send them to private school, engineering school, the best institute, and then send abroad all over the world, and send money to the United States or England, and send the wife there. That's our pattern. And the conference with 5,300 VIP, getting the Shanghai Convention Center, it's apex place. I was keynote speaker. Come from 4,000 institutes. All institutes was the president. The private school institute president, 5,000. It's not free. Cost them 30 to 35,000 for me to speak for 20 minutes. This whole value. After I found out, so many powerful, the Chinese, the very begging for getting to the private school. I could reach millions, some most rich, powerful family in the whole China. So you must learn our question, how do I do it? He said, how do you do it? I said, how do I make president? Okay, he said something, okay, I'll just share with you the question. One day I was at the United Nations conference. After the conference, I invited all the president, vice president, king, queen for dinner. The president sitting in front of me, and that was First Lady Martha. He said, Ben, China, US, the largest power in the world. Hell, you can do 10 times, you have a lot of resources, both, right? If not stupid, you must have a lot of resources. And you have kind of a lot of work, something. And we're talking. And after that, I talked to him and said, you know, California, so many Latino, Mexican Americans. He said, oh, I know, 40 million there, okay? It's our people. I said, the big event, 100,000 there. Oh, then we don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo. I said, you know, I was the president. He said, what the hell? You're the president of Cinco de Mayo? You can cross border? Pop his mind. I need your help. You have value there. I said, why? You're a president, you got every power you want. No. No one can connect the China, you are the both biggest economic power together, and into the Mexican American, I need your help. For what? I want Mexico, China, and US Chamber of Commerce. I said, no, that's a lot of work. No, I bet you got to do something, help work together. That's how we can friends. So when I invited him to join the World Conference, he said, no, I was so busy. I said, you asked me to help. You don't even come? Even a couple of days. Okay, I changed my schedule. Go do this. There's a story, right?
So the communication is that you had a confidence in you. That's how
you have a value. Most importantly, if you have relationships without value, even you met the president, create value. And also, from now, if you, one time I was, Duke University, the vice president said, one day he met me and said, Ben, I need to buy you a dinner and lunch. Come on, let's come with me. I said, why? Many years ago, he told me, I want a communication. Most difficult challenge and very important in 21st century called cross-cultural communication. You're the one you mentioned to me many years. I said, yeah, I need it. I think the time coming called cross-cultural communication.
Mr. Lai, you really hit it just right on the nose in terms of, it's so interesting that you were the head of the Latino Association, you had the opportunity to sit in front of the president of a major studio, and you were actually informing him of what he needed to do. It was like, that perspective is so valuable, and one that I truly, like you, believe that is what we are. That is who we are, and particularly for those coming after us, it's more important and relevant than ever. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Also, from now, remember each one, prepare your 15 seconds, introduce yourself, 40 seconds, 1 minute, and 2 minutes. When you meet a really important person that you want to catch and befriend, you probably only have 10 to 15 seconds to impress. Here are 1,000 people shaking their head.
That's why they call it elevator.
Who you are, what?
If you get an elevator, you only have that one?
Yes. If you don't have, well, why are you different? Like I invite Grace, Dr. Chen here, I said, you're unique, special. I said, I don't.
I need a high rising for introducing myself.
You have a Russian, Chinese, Korean, English. The
And
same-
Persians too, Iranians.
Yeah,
Iranian community is very big here, you know.
I have so many Iranian friends.
You may need to
It's
know
very
Sean
smart people
Mostly.
here. So many Iranian, I have a university president, something all from Iranian. So many people, I want to ask you, do you believe supernatural power?
Yes.
You know how we met today? I don't think it's by coincidence. It's something that happened to come all the way together today. A forbidden population will met together. Think, detail, reason. Because I through hundreds of miracles, I know. Something about me, I trace, I know who am I and where I'm going to. When I spend 30,000, 71,000 time to speak, I hold very important key. I can change every young kid's life. God give me one key to open who he is, the call of life. Each person have a purpose life. If I know who he is, I can change his life. Someone's an architecture, someone's a business entrepreneur. Some people is a firefighter, but each one has a different function. God really have said for them. If you know exactly true who he is, you can bring up powerful. And this one I want to share is the Asian market is probably one of the fastest growing in the United States. It's $1.6 trillion size. Many people want to get into, but how to get into? But how they get into without even face-to-face? I didn't fly to Atlanta. But the big corporation like a site, they knew it's so important, but they don't know how to get into. So my question?
Anybody,
You must have that question.
anybody with question? My first question is, let's say that is the biggest market, Asian market. Now, as you see, how can we penetrate the Asian
Okay,
market?
before that, I'll tell you one more story. First of all, when I speak to you, you must say, one time I went to a chamber conference, he said, Ben, your international business has nothing to do with us. We're local business. I said, oh, you're right. But I should tell one story, and you decide. It's really, that can read to you or not. I said, one day one of my business, 4,000, 40,000 some business, one business on the stop by. They asked me, said, President Lai, can I have a lunch with you? And why? So important. So make an appointment for lunch, he said. Do you know, I see my product was into the United States 10 times, you know that? I said, of course. Through the export, import, distributed to retail, of course, it's 10 times. I want to know where my customer is, how do I do it? I said, easy. You set up corporation. First, find out two attorneys, one for your visa, one for your corporation. He said, and then you need a CPA, bookkeeping, and you need a bank to deposit. You need insurance. You need one by one, everything. He said, oh my God. Yes, I follow you, whatever you said. You live in here so long, you know everything. I said, one by one. You need a commercial building, realtor. Am I right? How many things relate to? Go ahead.
Ben, everybody knows about Amazon in the US.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, I was really excited to work with Alibaba. How many billions is Alibaba doing in the US right now?
I'm not awesome. I tell you, billion, but
Massive.
huge. You know they can sell $100 million in one day. November 11th, the size. Because 1.3 billion population, just for a few dollars, it's a lot by population. Okay, besides that, I shared one story. In 1985, I saw Supernatural is right. 1985, in Northern Orange County, we have 5,500 aerospace, the worker, engineer, Rockwell,
Yeah.
huge aircraft, everyone living here. I was the president of the Chinese Association. And I told them, very important one thing, The Chinese language will be second most important language, beside English. All parents are good. Yeah. My kids couldn't speak Chinese. I said, very important. That's my third language. I said. So we set up a Chinese language red school. Till now, still have 91. But some are told 3 things going to happen. It's what 3 things happen. China can rise a giant country in the world, the most powerful one. All of my members laugh. But you probably don't understand. We make $3,000. China, how much they make it? $8, not 800. $8, not 80. $8. $8 and $3,000, how much? How can you see China rise a giant country? Impossible. I said, you don't believe. Second, China even definitely come to each other in a fight. In 1985, he said, no, they ride a bicycle. Still don't believe? Third, big China circle to form me. It's one day, one vote against war. I told him 1985 already. Even 2018, I told him Mexico took over China as number 3 pound with US.
2019, I was at Cambridge, they were talking about 5.0 of the economy, and at that time, the people there were saying China was 4 or 5 years ahead of us in terms of commerce and connectivity, in terms of doing business. This was 2019.
Yeah, but I see how the difficult China is. Even a few years ago, I saw China. I told all my people to come here ASAP. So I don't know. I can see the things before it happens.
Time will tell.
So 2018, I invited. I speak to thousands of businesses. All Chinese business going to have a challenge. Solution in Mexico. Follow me, or you will be great. And people just happy with all presents. Take a picture, they pay $1,000. 2023, during the COVID-19, all business failed, supply chain broken. And they start calling me and said, President, what do you mean solution in Mexico? I said, solution in Mexico? You don't know why? Number 8, one. Mexico is a 130 million population. The labor cost 20 to 40% less than China. I said, we have no clue, no idea. They're so far away, we don't even know. I said, number 2. We use the China trade war, you pay extra 20-40% tariff tax. Now, Donald Trump going to have tax. USMCA, zero tax, means Mexico to United States. It's a zero. It's the biggest trade organization, USMCA, zero. He said, oh, that's why we lost all the. Number 3, shipping from China, Shanghai to the United States take 1 month. $3,000 per container. During the COVID-19, $12,000 per container. Mexico to United States, 2 days driving. He said, you knew almost all the answers. I said, yeah, let me see. You didn't ask. I will give the answer. So this knowledge is important, information important, and vision important.
I know Gus has a factory in the other side of the border, Mexico. And I know Dali has a question. He has companies in China wanting to come. I know the geopolitically tariff and companies are facing, they cannot bring money here anymore or less, right? So how could Dali help Chinese companies come here to US?
Most of people, there are many labels people. The lowest needle is when the time comes, they say, how are we going to move our money? It's the last one. Late, but still, there's 100 ways to move the money to the United States. I cannot tell it here. 100 ways. And I tell you the fancy, but don't tell anybody. Then one day they open the Swiss bank. Who deposits 100 people into Swiss bank? There's $1,100 billion. About 100 people. For China. The people home, they move already. The last one said, oh my, it's fire now, let's move. And I tell you, many people can move their money. Like Donald Trump said, give me $5 million, I'll let you have a go-kart. How many people can qualify for go-kart, you guess, in the world? 37 million people. You know, I heard they can do 1,000 people per day. They come up with so you see, yeah.
Any
Money,
last,
yes.
any last questions?
Well, then you have
before-
some many questions, but
Before we give Darima another session for his marketing, but my question is, so let's say Asian market is so great in Southern California, we all want to tap into it again. So is there a cultural, because culturally, we don't understand Asians that much.
yeah. So how do I say this one? Because Asian market expo, about 40 years ago, I talked to my friend, you were single, Diamond Mary, I said, establish Asian American expo. Something will be very important in the United States. Why? Why you're here? Why I'm here? Over the region have 60% of world population in Asia, 75% world production in Asia. Once they succeed, business succeed, first you want to send the kids here, like you and me, right? Send the kids here, and their generation will be very smart, diligent, working hard. They know save money, they know how to hide the money here. So those people gather is power. It's 1.6 trillion now a year. So how to? So if I set up tool, I know how to use the tool. Just like you use a TV. If I know how to TV, you put TV and you success. No, you have to know use how to. I start the tool. Of course, I know how to use the tool. You have to know starting. There's no such thing free. You have to know how to use tool and work. Any question? Prepare. If you know how to get a relationship, get a lot of business, create a lot of value. Because once you have a value, it's so powerful. I think I talked to Florian about,
Yes.
I invited the president to join dinner, right? Conference with 1,000 business. You know, the table is down there. Each person how much? And let's guess. The square table, the round table only 1,000 business, 1,000 business. A square table, how much cost per company you get?
100,000 or something?
I have no idea.
Anybody tell me? It's 50,000 to 350,000 per person. They must pay. What kind of food you eat? Lobster or what? Yeah, the 50 and 300,000? No, there's a value there. If you know how to use the value, the 50,000 is nothing.
The value that we get exchange, that value.
Yeah. How to? I'll give you an example. 2023, they was looking into the channel into the Mexico because the housing collapse, the bubble in China, 300,000 building material in trouble in China alone. 300,000 they look into. But one company particular through the connection to talk to me said, I want to see you. I said, why? He owns a company in China, Mexico, Vietnam, and India, and United States. I said, what can I do? He said, he had a company here for 5 to 6 years. He only created two customers. He hoped I can help them to find out 2 more customers for him. I said, okay, give me 3 days a week. Afternoon, I told to the president of Fox said, I need this resource. President Fox said, give me a few hours. I asked a big group to contact you. The group, the CEO and the senior vice president, without our senior vice president called me and said, President asked me, so I contact you. Whatever you need a conference in Mexico, we'll attend it. This is our group. We have 147 industry parks for Mexico. We have 4,000 global company, Honda, Toyota, everything inside the group. In this. So, a few days later, I met a person. CEO said, "You want 2 company? I think 100,000, 3,000."
Let's give a hand to Ben. And my takeaway is connection and who you know. And he knows how to connect and he has confidence when he introduces himself. Next, without delay, can I ask everybody the little bit on timing wise? I know I say 11 o'clock, but who's gonna be here at 11:30? Is that okay if we have a little over the 11 o'clock? And we're gonna have a mixed register after when we have food here and all that, so bear with me. And without due delay, we have a marketing expert, Dali Ma. He's the Oxford graduate, and he's also a photographer for fashion, and he has his own fashion line in Shanghai. And he does a lot of marketing here, website and SNS, and he's tight connected to Forbes and Bazaar and any other notable Vogue Times. I mean, he knows a lot of journalists, and he knows how to get into the magazine if you guys want to market yourself. And that's what he's going to talk about with AI. Go ahead.
Thank you, Joseph. Well, I'm humbled by the presence of everybody here, especially after following Van. Try to do my best.
Is it possible to increase the brightness on that screen?
You want to lower the
Yeah, I
lights?
don't see it from here.
Yeah, it's really.
We could lower the
We
lights.
could not
That's the
turn off
lights.
these lights, there's enough light.
Those lights are fine.
Yeah.
Switch. I'm thinking there must be a brightness.
It must be the switch. Is it better?
Yeah.
Yes, much better.
Awesome. So very quickly about myself. So I, like Joseph had mentioned, I do a few things. So I have a marketing agency here. It's called Truly Yours. There's a reason for that. I'm also a co-founder and chief creative officer for Permalti, which is my fashion line in Shanghai. And also the Dali Studio is basically just my photography business. And it all kind of started there with my photography. I was shooting models with agencies, and also I was working with magazines and becoming connected with various types of media like Vogue and Forbes and stuff like that. And the rest is basically history. And last year I was so honored to be featured on Forbes China actually as one of the top 100 most influential Chinese. But if you ask me, my proudest moment isn't necessarily that. My proudest moment was actually I was listed by Exeter College in Oxford University as one of the star alumni. So that's something I'm very proud of, you know, being able to be mentioned by the place that shaped me the most. And today I'm going to be talking about know who you are talking to. And it's all about the marketing communication. And I'm going to talk about a small scale of a grand topic, which is marketing, because we all know marketing involves so many things. And today we're just going to be focusing on now who we're talking about. Probably, I think you turned avatar by meaning that the kind of people that you're talking to, like the buyer persona profiles and stuff like that. So this is very similar to that, and this is kind of my take and my learning on it. So about 10, 15 years ago, HubSpot, which is a major marketing platform, I think a lot of people here know about HubSpot. They used the term buyer persona to mean the different categories of people that you're talking to. And their ways or methodology behind defining buyer persona is very simple. How old you are, where you come from, what you do, what's your daily schedule like, and what's your hobby like, and what's your title in the company, and so on and so forth, right? So that paints a picture of a typical buyer persona profile when you are between the age of 20 to 30, you are a young graduate, you're trying to work your way up in a company, and you play soccer every Saturday morning like I do, and you eat mostly Western food like steak and stuff like that. That paints a picture of who you are and what your desires are and what type of products you're most attracted to. But over the years I found out, okay, that's not necessarily the best way to define buyer persona, because you could have the same people, even twins from the same home, from the same country, doing pretty much exactly the same thing every day, but they're attracted to different things. So that's very possible. So upon learning, and this is, I don't take credit for this because this is from the book called 5 Rings of Buyer Insight. And this defines buyer persona very well, and I've been ever since adopting this to my marketing agency in my services. And how buyer persona is defined in this way is we take that 5 things that defines your behavior as a buyer persona. Not necessarily based on your age, not necessarily based on what you do, but your behavior and what kind of things, what kind of messages are going to persuade you the most. And they are priority initiatives, success factors, perceived barriers, buying process, and decision criteria. So what is priority initiative? When anybody is looking for a new solution, there's a reason for it, right? I'm running my own business, I just started my own business, and my accounting is a mess. I'm looking for accounting services, right? And if my business is going well, but I need legal services, and because I'm hiring people, I need some HR services, those are all the triggers, and sometimes we call pain points for people to start thinking, okay, I need a solution. And that's what priority initiative is. And success factors. Whenever you hire someone, whenever you're looking for a solution, you want it to help you, right? And there's a goal, there's a purpose for you to look for that solution. Success factor is that goal. So what are you looking for a new solution for? What's your purpose of doing that? And that's closely related to criteria. So decision criteria. So you have the pain point that you want to resolve, and that facilitates your business to reach a new goal. So what is that new goal? And what helps you to make a certain decision? So okay, I want to hire an accounting services, for example. What is my goal of doing that? And what kind of decision-making process do I have? Do I need someone who is low cost but can handle part of my job, or do I need someone who can help me file taxes so I can claim most of my income back in my tax returns? Those are all decision criteria. Perceived barriers. That's very simple to understand. What kind of objections may people give you when they want to look for a new solution? And does your business, does your solution kind of overcome that perceived barrier? Buying process. Where are they? Where are the buyers in that buyer's journey? So are they ready to buy? Are they just looking for information? Are they comparing between different competitors? That's the buying process. And where they are means a lot to you